your panels, and you do panels around the country, right? You've got them.
Say die. 'Cause our lives take different courses. We get married, get divorces. Our regrets and our remorses wear us down until we die. So we just keep moving forward, onward, up Excelsior. Because persistence is the one resource we have that won't run dry. Say die. Goonies never say die. Goonies never say die. Goonies never say die. Die. It must be Thursday. I never got the hang of Thursdays. 'Cause there's just too many Mondays in my life. And it's been one long left turn for the last 300 miles. It seems everything I need was on the right. And I feel like giving in, but my mind keeps wandering back to that night Brad talked his girlfriend down the way. Yeah, me and One-Eyed Willie have been talking this thing out. We've been pondering life's mysteries. What is it all about? When the world teams up against us, we look it in the eye, then dive in head first, screaming, "Hey, you guys!" Goonies never say die. Yes, I just feel jaded, defeated and frustrated. Keep wishing maybe somehow I could change my face. Feel like a sheep inside wolf's clothing. I'm so filled with fear and loathing, and I worry that I'll never find my place. And I'm held hostage by these hotels. I could go out, but there's no telling what waits for me out there. Except I'm sure it isn't you. And me and One-Eyed Willie have been talking this thing out. We've been pondering life's mysteries. What is it all about? When the world teams up against us, we look it in the eye, and then dive in head first, screaming, "Hey, you guys!" Goonies never say die. 'Cause our lives take different courses. We get married, get divorces. Our regrets and our remorses wear us down until we die. So we just keep moving forward, onward, up Excelsior. Because persistence is the one resource we have that won't run dry. Yeah, me and One-Eyed Willie have been talking this thing out. We've been pondering life's mysteries. What is it all about? When the world teams up against us, we look it in the eye, and dive in head first, screaming, "Hey, you guys!" Goonies never say die. Goonies never say die. Goonies never say die.
Sounds good. Here we are with Con Arts. We are here with Mike Tinsley this evening. Cuddle Buddy Frankie is busy prop building, and Jane Doe is busy with her nerdgasms. And so it's you and me solo tonight, buddy. How are you doing?
Pretty good this evening. Just got back from ASIN. How are you doing?
Yeah, how was ASIN?
ASIN was really good. I was helping a friend out sell merchandise, and did pretty good. So,
yeah, did you do any paneling down there?
No, not this time or anything. Haven't done panels at ASIN yet. I didn't know I was going to go for sure until about a month and a half ago. So.
Oh, okay. So for those of you not in the know, this is Mike Tinsley. Mike Tinsley is the director of SawesomeCon, and SawesomeCon is one of those shows that I really very much enjoy being at. But you've got a number of panels that you've been doing for a number of years now. What are some of your favorite panels?
Some of the favorite ones that I like to do and a lot of other people like is the Open Naruto discussion. That's one where we basically talk about any part of Naruto. We'll have some other people as panelists, and we'll go back and forth, answer questions, come up with theories. But since the series ended, it's now getting ready to be evolved into the Boruto open discussion panel. Since Boruto, it's Naruto's son, so it's the next generation.
Oh, so they're definitely milking that for as much as they can get, huh?
Pretty much. Some other panels that I've done for years is the old school Final Fantasy panels, where I go over some of the older Final Fantasy panels. Some of the older Final Fantasy games, and just make people more aware of the older classics that a lot of people have maybe never tried, but really should.
Okay.
And
okay, go ahead. And you've got one that's really special that I know that you do.
There's one that I do. It is a mature panel.
Uh-huh.
It is You Ruined My Childhood, Rule 34. And the way that one, for those who don't know what Rule 34 is, do a quick Google search. But make sure you're not at work. And basically, it starts off where I actually show a whole bunch of images that I've been saving for a year. And then afterwards, we go with requests, because I actually have sorted over 150 to 160 gigs of material. So
that's a lot of material.
It's for people who want to request things. So it's not out of my own personal collection. It's just a way to help ruin or enrich people's childhoods.
Okay, so how do you walk that fine line between ruining and enriching?
That's all left up to the attendees' interpretation.
Yeah.
Okay. I've literally had some people come up to me and say that panel was worth the price of the badge alone. So that's one of the best honors you can ever get as a panelist. So
how many people do you think you usually have? And these are all late night panels, or do they put you in during the middle of the day, or?
The You Ruined My Childhood, Rule 34 is a later in the evening panel. The other ones, whenever they can be placed. I have basically about 10 to 12 panels I can do at any given time, if anyone's ever needing a panelist. Mike the panelist. So.
Excellent. Now, you also do some photography and some other stuff.
Yes. I actually started off by taking photos of cosplayers over at different conventions. And when I was helping my friend out going to help sell merchandise in multiple different areas, I would take my camera and then I would upload the photos upon to people online so they could go ahead and tag each other. And some people would tell me that's how they would actually experience the convention, because they couldn't make it, but they still wanted to experience it. Then I actually went to school for photography, but I decided event coordinating was more of my calling. So I still do photography on the side, but I don't charge or anything like that. So it's very much a hobby.
Nice. Well, okay. So tell me why'd you get into how'd you get into the event coordination?
Um, I was going to some conventions all throughout different areas, and I would see different stuff that really could have been worked on better, or some things that were really, really awesome. And I was like, well, why don't we see about doing a convention that can take and use all the really good that I see and make sure it's entertaining for everyone in a safe environment, and try not to do any of the stuff that's bad. And there were plenty of instances where I would talk with people in all different areas of various conventions, from different con chairs to directors to just normal staffers or volunteers that were helping out. And my goal is try to be the solution to the problem. So that's one of the reasons why I host panels. Is I went to some conventions. I felt like some panels could definitely be, spiced up a little bit, and thus I started doing panels. I thought the convention scene could use a different role model and a little bit per se. So I try to be a role model. Now, of course, there's hurdles that are going to be thrown at us that we're not all expecting. But we do our best to do it to where there's no drama. Try to be as stress-free as possible.
I get a big old smile when you say no drama because it's next to impossible to live a day without really anyone having drama, much less if you're networking people together. Do you mind sharing some of the things that you faced as someone who's put on a convention and ways that you've moved past that?
The hardest part is definitely trying to promote the positive. There are people who will always focus on one situation and then try to blow it way out of proportion. And it does slow things down, and it is stressful. There's a reason why they say event coordination is one of the top 5 most stressful jobs in the world. But I love it, and definitely want to keep it going. One of the hurdles I've had is sometimes you'll have a special guest come in and they'll accidentally slip a word they shouldn't say. And then you have to tell them, well, this is a PG-13, not an R-rated panel. But for the most part, it's pretty good. That's that, and making sure all the staff are coordinated, working together. That takes a lot of time and effort. So.
How many hours a week do you think you do putting a show together?
Some weeks it's not that much. It's literally just send an email out or two, or send a Facebook message to some of my directors. Some weeks it's literally almost every waking hour, but that's usually when it's closer to the convention. You're trying to make sure everything's finalized, everything's perfect. If you just go ahead and average it all out, I would say I probably do about 10 to 20 hours a week on the average week, doing something related to the convention. If it's just going out and promoting, or meeting up with different people to host an event, a micro event, variety of different things.
What's the weirdest? Go ahead.
I'm always promoting, so.
Yeah, you have to be always promoting. What's the weirdest thing you've had to deal with as a promoter so far? Most off the wall thing.
Well, there's always the con funk that will come up, where there's a body odor that you need to try to definitely spray Febreze in a certain room. Because as much as you try to promote, everyone does at least the 6-2-1, which is 6 hours of sleep, at least a minimum of 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower a day. There are people who do not follow that rule. but we always try to make sure we don't have that issue that badly.
Mhm. So what are other when you go to other conventions as a guest? I'm sure you're saying, I want this. You see things and you say, I want this at my con. I don't want this at my cons. What are some of those things that you have purposely stolen from other conventions that you're pulling into your show?
Imitation definitely is the ultimate form of flattery, and I do my best to imitate, having fast registration lines. I myself am not a fan of lines.
Mhm.
In fact, the first convention I went to, I was going to their first time hosting this one special event where you could do your own dubbing over a scene, and they had computer malfunction errors, and so we were in line for 2 hours. So that's definitely
Wow.
something we took. Try to make sure the lines are small. The VIP package, the second convention I went to, pardon the traffic.
Yeah.
The second thing that we definitely took from a different convention was the second convention I went as a VIP, and the VIPs were allowed to go ahead and have a meal with the special guests, and I just loved that idea. It's a great way to have a one-on-one time with the voice actors. Sorry, the guests from outside. One-on-one time with the voice actors and having a good meal, and it's something we have incorporated for our own VIPs. Usually on Saturday, around lunchtime, but Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah. Now, I've seen those done in a couple of different ways. Do you feel like a different ticket for LineCon is no fun? Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Eric. How was it done at SawesomeCon in order to make it the best experience for guests and voice artists and other celebrities to get together?
We try to host it around noon. It just seems the easiest way to do it, where we're coordinating everyone together. And it's still a work in progress. We're still growing and doing the best we can within our budget. So what we do in our case is we actually provide little sandwiches. We might add a little pizza, and we throw some soda and such. So some basic stuff that anyone could appreciate. And it's not a full-blown meal, mind you. It's enough to get you going and have a conversation. I want to make sure people are having conversations with the special guests because, in my opinion, a lot of the special guests are just like everyone else. And sometimes we put people on such high pedestals that we freak out at times. And I've never been one of those people myself. I'm grateful for that. But it's a good way to let people relax and realize, hey, these are human beings. So we can interact with everyone. And from what I've seen from the special guests who have gone to them, I've never heard a complaint, and they've all said they have enjoyed them. So,
yeah. So this is you're getting ready for SawesomeCon 3.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about SawesomeCon 1. I got to be a part of that one. I really enjoyed myself. There were hiccups, but it was a first year hiccup.
Yeah.
Charity's saying that she's having trouble hearing. If there's a way that we can turn up the volume anyway for you,
I can try to get closer. Is this any better?
Charity, let us know if it's any better. Now, Kevin G. Harris. Kevin's one of the guys that runs TopCon here in town.
Cool.
He's saying, is having a variety of different events at a con the best way to go?
For my opinion, when I go to a convention, I want there to be stuff to do. And I have gone to conventions where as soon as I got there, I'm like, okay, well, there's only vendor's room and there's no real panels going on that I'm interested in. So I'm trying to host an event that I myself would be entertained at. Not it doesn't mean there's going to be something every hour that you're going to be able to find of interest every hour. But I think having lots of variety of content does help to keep it from becoming a boring event.
Excellent. Back to SawesomeCon 1. What was it like going into your first big show that is your show that you're responsible for? What were some of those feelings?
It was extremely wonderful feeling. I haven't done drugs. I don't do drugs, but I was pretty high up there with feeling great and everything on Sunday when everything was getting come down to a close and everything. It takes a lot of time and effort to get everything going, and it's worth it though. It is definitely worth it if you can have dedicated people that can help you make it happen. Because there's no way I could have done this myself.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about that. You've put together a couple of teams now, because each year's team seems to metamorphose and people take on newer responsibilities. Some people find passion elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What's been some of your success about having people being drawn into SawesomeCon and continue to be a part of the experience?
Part of it is it's more than just a family you see once a year. I mean, we may not see each other that often in person, but we are communicating back and forth, and it does become kind of like a family. It's not your nuclear style family, of course, but having a good variety of people gives different perspectives. In my case, I don't want everyone who's just answering yes or no or agreeing with me on every single topic. Because if everyone's agreeing on me, that's not true discussion. It's just, placating. It's just going with the flow. I want some conflict that's not drama conflict, but it's enough to keep it where we're seeing new perspectives. And I think because I do allow my directors to have full reign of their areas, as long as I don't have to, step in, it helps out a lot that way too. That was one of the problems some of my staff were having at other conventions they had staffed at. Some of them were directors at other conventions, and then their heads would come in and rearrange everything or micromanage it. And I know these people know their sectors, their sections and their sectors a lot more than I do. When it comes to cosplay, I am not a cosplayer, not by a long shot. Another vehicle. So by having someone who actually has done cosplay and judging, having them in charge and giving them full reign of cosplay, I might be like, well, I want this or this or this element in there, or make sure it's accepting to all different cosplays, not just anime. That's something I do add in, but for the most part, it's their control. Mm-hmm. I'll be right back. I'm just going to get water.
Okay, sounds good. Just to let you guys know, we are here with Mike Tinsley. Mike is the director of SawesomeCon. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I want to thank you guys for sharing the conversation so everyone can join us. There's going to be a number of great guests this year at SawesomeCon. Maybe we can take a quick minute to talk about that real quick, and then we'll get back talking back to SawesomeCon 1. Who do we expect to see there at SawesomeCon this year?
This year we have Cynthia Kranz and Wendy Powell both returning. You'll know Cynthia Kranz as the voice of Chi-Chi in Dragon Ball Z, or Botan in Yu Yu Hakusho. Wendy Powell is best known as Indy from Full Metal Alchemist. But both of them have been in a variety of roles.
A lot. Isn't Cynthia also the mother in Shin-Chan?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a website called Behind the Voice Actor, and you can actually type in their names, and it shows everything that they've worked on anime-wise, and with a picture of their characters. So there's a lot of characters. Mm-hmm.
So you've got Cynthia and Wendy and Aaron Desmuke. Is that his name?
Yeah, Aaron Dismuke. I hope that's how you pronounce it. He is the voice of the original Alphonse Elric from Full Metal Alchemist from the first series.
Okay.
He didn't reprise his role for the Brotherhood series because his voice had changed, so he no longer sounded young in that regard. That young.
Gotcha. And the huge guest you're having is Jim Butcher, and I don't think Jim's been in the anime yet, but tell us a little bit.
No, he's the author of the Dresden Files, which is a very, very popular New York Times best-selling series. I believe they have over 17 books he has done, and just with. But that's also not counting the other series that he's also been working on as well. He's also an avid role player, so.
Oh, okay, right on. We need to see if we can get some wizards and whiskey going on with him, and that's the panel I want to do is wizards and whiskey with Jim being the DM. That's what I want to see happen. So let's go back to SawesomeCon 1. What was unique about SawesomeCon? Because you've got a couple other anime conventions right there in Kansas City and a few others in the area. What did you want to make different about SawesomeCon?
The main thing I wanted to make different was making sure people had a fun, safe time, had entertainment, but also it's not just focused on anime. We actually encompass everything. Anime is just the majority of what we encompass. I've seen some conventions where they focus literally, if it's not Japanese related, it's not something that's going to be in the programming. And to me, that kind of hurts the people who are attending. Your attendees should help determine where you're trying to go, not restrict your attendees, basically, is what I would like to try to do. I don't want to restrict them. I want them to have fun. I want people with similar interests to be able to get together and enjoy themselves and meet new people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely something that we try to do our first year to make sure it was fun and awesome.
Okay. So what were some of your favorite parts of SawesomeCon 1? I mean, obviously Jellybean being there.
Well,
I mean,
yeah. You were great. Sadly, I was spending a lot of time in the con ops room, so I didn't get to go out as often as I'd like to. But I did get to listen to Kaza perform, and they're returning this year.
Excellent.
We had a fun panel called One More Time, or One More Hour, which was a panel with a ball pit in it. And people just had a lot of fun with the ball pit. And just being able to have everyone come together and work on a cohesive convention was great. We had a lot of staff, and it was just amazing. I just wish I could have got some more mouse.
Excellent. We just got a question from Kevin. He wants to know when SawesomeCon is this year.
SawesomeCon this year is June 30th through July 2nd. Our original dates were June 9th through the 11th, but Project Acon changed their dates, and we decided to change ours to respect them. They are the first anime convention in the United States, so it's like we'll give them, their weekend.
Yeah, right.
So we're 4th of July weekend without it being 4th of July.
Okay, excellent. That'll be a good fun weekend to be up in Kansas City. It's where is the site at?
The KSI Expo Center. It's literally a mile away from the airport.
Okay.
You can take Highway 29 to easily get there if you're coming from the north or the south, or 435 will get you very close to the convention center as well.
Okay. And is there a hotel connected to it?
It's not directly connected to it, but it's on the same lot. It is the Holiday Inn.
Okay, excellent. Kevin wants to know, yeah, it would be after Smallville, and it is at the KCI Expo Center. Thank you, Cody. And Kevin wants to know how much booths are, and are there booths available?
There are still some booths available. We're actually starting to get ready to promote exhibitor booths, which are separate from vendors and artists. Exhibitor booth, if it's another convention, would be free. If it's someone who's wanting to just exhibit some stuff, it's $200. And it's like a 10 by 8 or a 10 by 10 booth with a table and 2 chairs. Some vendor tables are still available, but we already got a large wait list on that, so that may not be possible on the vendor side. And we're still waiting to hear back from some of our artists that we've sent contracts out to. So, and we have a wait list for the artist alley as well. So,
Okay, but if you have people who are interested in getting on that wait list for vendors, how do they do that?
there is 2 forms. If you're wanting to get on the vendor list, it is the SawesomeCon 2017 vendor form, which is a Google Docs form. Also, the same for the Artist Alley. Artist Alley has their own separate form, and you can find them on the website in the exhibit area.
Okay.
In fact, let's double check to make sure.
The website is just sawsomecon.org, sawsomecon.com,
SawesomeCon.com.
sawsomecon.com. So we'll need to post a link to that in our conversation here. Oh, hi, Charity. Charity has taken over Kevin's phone, apparently, and she's the one asking these questions. Charity runs a geek boutique here in Topeka called Once. And
nice.
So she'd be a good vendor for SawesomeCon.
Yeah, our vendors tab is where the information is. And there's both a vendor and an artist application form. You just click on that and it takes you to, let's see if I can turn this over real quick. You see it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just
Kinda.
click on either one of them and it'll take you to a Google form. Just like so.
Uh-huh.
And you just fill out the information and then we get back to you in a reasonable amount of time, hopefully.
Excellent. We what did I miss last year at SawesomeCon 2? Because I was on the table trying not to die.
Yeah. We expanded the location that we were at. So we have a lot of open space. We added a maid cafe.
A maid cafe. What is a maid cafe?
A maid cafe is you actually come in and you sit down at a table and a maid will come up to you or a butler and ask you if there's anything you would like. And they basically provide you either a little tiny cookie or a little bit of cake or some tea. And they basically, say, yes, master. It's a really popular event over in Japan, and a lot of people like to do it. So, and I had a lot of staff that was asking to make sure that we could host one. So I was like, okay, sure, we'll throw that into the contract when we go to a new location, and I made sure we got that in the contract. It's a very unique experience.
Okay, excellent. Okay, what else happened last year?
We also added a Mad Hatter Tea Party, which was very, very interesting. I was not able to go to it myself because of the situation, but from what I heard from a lot of the attendees and staff that went to it, they all enjoyed it, loved it. In fact, they still make jokes about it, events that they did at the thing last year, the Mad Hatter Tea Party. Because they're all in costume, so there was someone being the Red Queen, someone being the Mad Hatter, someone being the rabbit, the white rabbit, and hilarity ensued.
Excellent.
And mainly we opened up more space. We added a manga library.
Uh-huh.
Really nice. A room where people can go in and pick a manga off the shelf and basically read a Japanese comic book. 'Cause that's what manga pretty much are, Japanese comic books.
Uh-huh. Excellent. So you also have cosplay as a part of, 1 and 2. What should we expect for number 3 cosplay wise, or we got some good stuff coming?
Yeah, there's definitely still a cosplay contest, and it's open to all fandoms. And there's, I believe, a limit of like 60 or 80 entries. So if you're wanting to become a part of it, go ahead and fill out the information that is on the website. The website has information for that. It's under cosplay, but you go to programming and you hover over programming and it gives you cosplay. It goes over all the rules.
Oh, excellent. Hey, Charity asked the white elephant question, the elephant in the room. Why is it called Sawsome? What kind of a weird ass name is that?
Back in 2011, around November, December, I was needing to come up with a name to brand stuff that I was planning on eventually doing at some point. And it took me about 2 weeks to come up with Sawsome. And it just sounded really, really cool to me, Sawsome. And so I checked online to make sure if it was a word or not. And according to Urban Dictionary, it is a real word. It's a cross between saucy and awesome. It means more awesome than awesome. So when it comes to SawesomeCon, the translation translates to the more awesome than awesome convention. So.
Gotcha. So how do you keep building upon more awesome than awesome? How do you make each SawesomeCon more sawsome?
By adding new content as much as possible. We've expanded our workshop room. We're working towards having a tabletop room covered so people can have tabletop. This year we have virtual reality that's going to be there. We didn't have that last year. And any and all mistakes that might have happened last year, trying to prevent them from happening this year. So.
Well, hey, that's always one thing to do is chase down Murphy. Charity wants to check. Will she get sauced if she goes, or can she get sauced if she goes? Are there adult panels and adult times that
there are adult panels after about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. A lot of it depends on which ones are approved or not, and my programming director is finalizing the panels right now to see which ones are approved and which ones are not. And as soon as that's all taken care of, then we'll actually be posting up the panels so everyone can see what they can see, the content that we're going to have this year for panels. But yeah, there is definitely 18 plus content, but it's also safe for work and safe for kids before then. We try to keep it as much as possible, no more than PG-13 until about 8 o'clock at night.
Sounds good.
Of course, anyone under the age of 16 has to be accompanied by their parents or their legal guardian.
Mm-hmm. What do you think the most traumatic thing that's happened at SawesomeCon? What's been the most traumatic thing that's happened at SawesomeCon? What's been the thing that just kind of got you, but you were able to move past it and everything else? Because that's the reason I'm asking is that always is one of those con horror stories that people ask. And it's almost a litmus test for directors of how do they make decisions and move forward.
Yes. Probably the most traumatic thing that's happened at SawsumCon, to the best of my knowledge, was we've had some MCs that went a little bit off the script, and it actually caused a little bit of stir with some people. Some innuendos that shouldn't have been said. And the goal is to try to make sure whoever we have as MC keeps it PG-13, no innuendos, before 8 at least. And for the big events, to make sure that we're not having that kind of situation arise again. So that's probably the most traumatizing thing.
So for MCs, we keep in mind we gotta have a clean mouth and be friendly more than funny, or
Yeah.
friendly more than body. So okay, that's a something that a number of places have to deal with. So yeah, I totally understand that. What's coming up in SawsumCon 3 that we need to make sure to keep our eyes on?
Well, we have a lot of special guests. Some of them are their first times actually coming to Kansas City. That's one of the things that we actually pride ourselves on, is we bring every year people who've never been to Kansas City before as special guests. First year we had Vic Mignogna and Akaza, and last year we had Chi Sakuragi and some other guests that have never been here. And this year we have Aaron Dismuke, who's never been here. And it's one of those things is we try to bring a good variety, but also bring new people and new content as much as possible. So, and we're revamping the video game room this year, so there should be a lot more games. We have people working on getting contests set up for the video games. Just everything. It's going to be great.
Okay, excellent. We've talked about a couple of the guests, and what are some of the panels that we should look towards, that we need to know that these are the panels that we want to definitely be at?
If you're interested in seeing some improvisation, there is definitely the Cosplay Combat. It is a lot of fun to watch and or participate in. You don't have to be in cosplay to participate in Cosplay Combat. That's where they actually get people on both sides, and they'll roll a die to see who's attacking who, how much damage is being done, or if it's being defended. And each side starts off with like about 30 or 40 life, and the dice determine who wins, but everyone gets to enact how that battle happened without touching each other, of course. We want to make sure no one's harming each other. But you get to you get to see basically Mario versus Naruto, or Kie from Yu Yu Hakusho going against France from Hetalia. I mean, it's a good variety of stuff you can see. We have a Love Live, a special event that's going to be happening. I can't divulge all the details on that, but it's going to be amazing. People having their own Love Live, changing out different costumes, all within an hour period, going on stage, doing event stuff. It's going to be great. I would also recommend all of our special guest panels and autographs as well. As for all of the panels that have been submitted recently, I haven't looked at the list yet because I'm waiting for my programming director to go over them to finalize which ones do get approved, which ones don't. But I do know there will be a Full Metal Alchemist panel discussion, since we have 4 voice actors from Full Metal Alchemist.
Wow.
So I would highly recommend going to that one for sure.
Uh-huh. Very cool. Very, very cool. Uh, tell us tell me what's your favorite part about being at the venue that you're at, the KCI Expo Center, right?
There, I like the fact that they actually want to work with us.
Huh?
They communicate with us. They tell us that we're their favorite client, which the way that they act, it seems to be very true. Um, and it's a major, major improvement. There's a lot of open space as well, so we're able to modify each area how we're wanting to do it. Our main events room is 35,000 square foot. So we're able to completely modify that to fit a variety of different ways to ensure everyone has a lot of fun and open space to interact with people and be able to sit down and also purchase things from artists or go to the vendor's room. Um, oh, there's one more event I would highly recommend people going to, and that is our charity auction. That's something we started last year, and all the proceeds go to the charities that we go for that year. This year, I'm wanting to have Salsam Khan definitely donate to the Alzheimer's Foundation. Um, my grandma had Alzheimer's and she passed away this year.
Huh?
So I definitely want to make sure we, try to put it in her honor. So
Huh? Okay, right on. Well, Kevin just asked another question. Um, they had at Planet Comic Con sci-fi speed dating. Do you know that group? Have you worked with them before?
I have not worked with them before, but I have heard of them. Um, it would definitely be a very interesting thing to have. We do plan on trying to do a dating panel as well at Sawsum, but that is still a work in progress. So we haven't finalized how we're going to do it yet.
Excellent. Sounds good. Well, yeah. So it's Sawsum Con is June 30th through July 2nd.
Mhm.
KCI Expo Center, Kansas City, Kansas. It's an
Okay.
Anime Plus.
Missouri.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an Anime Plus, which means so there's Anime plus other fandoms. The cosplay contest is open to all fandoms.
Mhm.
You have Jim Butcher, the author of the Dresden Files, writes about wizards, so you know he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Cynthia Kranz, who's been in a number of things, Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yep. Dragon
And
Ball Z.
and Wendy Powell, whose big claim to fame would be the voice of Indy in Full Metal Alchemist. Aaron Dismuke, a number of people. And I hear you're going to have a couple other wizards around there, at least one other wizard, and some good things with that. And this is the third year
That is
of
correct.
Sawsum Con. What are you looking to do in the future past this Sawsum Con? What if money were no object? What would you do?
If money were no object, I would definitely see about bringing over some Japanese musical special guests from. I would love to bring like Yoko Kanno over. Um,
Who's that?
she's one of the singers for. She's the one who did the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack. She actually
Mhm.
created her Yoko in the. I can't remember. I'm bad with names. But she actually created a band just to create the music for the Cowboy Bebop soundtrack, and it would be an honor to have her come over and have her play music. Um, I would definitely love to see, um, just having special guests that would love to come to Kansas City, and but Kansas City people would love to see themselves. Um, but and of course, a location that can handle the size of everyone attending too,
Uh-huh.
where everyone has a safe environment with hotels, you know, at least within walking distance, a block at most. That would be ideal.
Very groovy. Very groovy. Um, yeah, tell me a little bit, because you do the SawesomeCon stuff, but then your day job is teaching chess to kids.
Yes, I'm actually a chess coach, and I'm actually the deputy director for the Kansas City Chess Club. So I also do some of the administrative works, which is hiring people and things like that. But for the most part, we go to different schools and we teach chess to kids that would like to learn. So.
Very cool. So, how many, like, is that a full-time gig for you?
That is full-time work for me. Now, I normally go to about 10 to 12 clubs a week during the school semester. So now that it's getting ready for the summer, we have some summer camps that are good for to go to. But yeah, it is full-time for me because I am doing also the administrative stuff on the background area. So
Awesome. Well, you are a very unique character, sir. Very awesome.
thank you.
Which is more awesome than awesome, according to
Urban
what was that? Okay.
Urban
Urban Dictionary says "Sawsome" is more awesome than awesome. So where sassy meets awesome. Is that right?
Where saucy, yeah, saucy meets awesome. Yep.
Or saucy meets awesome. Okay.
Where
Excellent.
it's, cross between the
Excellent. Well, I look forward to being there at SawesomeCon. I look forward to having great fun, and it looks like we picked up a couple other people who are looking forward to coming. Anything else that folks should know, all the con artists should know about SawesomeCon?
We are always open to suggestions, comments, thoughts. We're always looking for ways to improve, and one of the best ways to find out different areas we need improvement or just completely different areas to start something new in is by people commenting or letting us know. We also like to keep it to where we're an open book. So if you have any questions about the convention, as long as it's not divulging into information I cannot disclose, we're pretty much an open book. I say we're 95% transparent because I'm not going to give you the emails to the special guests or the terms that we're doing with the special guests, but basically anything else I will answer. So.
Most excellent. We'll love to see you out and about more in the Kansas City area. Hopefully we can get you to some of these cosplay events to help market the show. And yeah, I want to thank everyone else for tuning in. I want to thank Cuddle Buddy Frankie for making sure this got set up so we could have this conversation, make it happen. Jane Doe, busy with kids. Mike, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And
It was a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you very kindly. I want to make sure to thank executive producer Larry and the animal wrangler Charlene for once again supporting con artists and helping us out in this endeavor. And I want you all to talk up about SawesomeCon. Ask us questions, leave questions on this conversation, and we'll make sure to get back those answers. So tell you guys, until next week, where we'll have Stephen K. Smith making a reappearance because we had to cancel last week due to weather. We'll have Stephen K. Smith, who was on the Cosplay Melee show, and talk to us about what he's doing on his new Twitch stream and a bunch of other stuff, what Disneyland was like, and or Disney World, I think he went to. So anyway, we'll see you all next week, next Thursday here at Con Artist, Thursday, 8 p.m. We'll see you later. Bye.
Have fun, everyone.
All righty. Mike, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we it.
Okay.
Man, what a trip! Yeah, sorry, my crew kind of got busy tonight. They
It's all good.
Kayla's busy being a mom, and but you heard Cuddle Buddy Frankie was on there working with props, getting ready for the steampunk show in Wichita this weekend.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see what all happens there, and maybe I should stay in Wichita overnight tomorrow night and go to that show and surprise some people. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm sure some people would enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
You know,
man.
we could see about if someone wants to run it. We can add a steampunk area to SawsumCon.
Well, I don't know about a full area, but I could certainly get a couple of panels done for you if you wanted them. To do a steampunk area, best people to talk to would be not the air marshals, not the sky marshals.
Yeah, I know they're currently having some bad PR from one of their guys from a few years ago.
Not just a few years ago, Brian's a piece of shit. And I don't use that term lightly. When I was in the hospital, he called for my death. But he's a registered pedophile, self-admitted online. He is creepy beyond belief and does horrible things to people.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, however, some folks who work with them are just absolutely fantastic. Brian is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So you could have the Sky Marshals minus Brian, and it would be all right.
Okay.
The Ben and them out of Missouri are just absolutely fantastic. Ben and his wife and Steamworks and Shadows is who they are, and they're absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I could do a Steampunk 102 panel. I don't do 101 panels, but I do 102s. And I should probably just send Ellie, hey, if you need me to do these panels, here are ideas that I could do at the drop of a hat. And
well, she told me right before this we have 60 panels that were sent in to her.
Uh-huh.
Not counting all the special guest panels.
Uh-huh.
So we can definitely use quality panels, and I know you're a good quality panelist too. And we have a workshop, so that might be best place for the Steampunk 102. Would be the workshop, or would you like a panel room?
Panel room with a screen available to me, so that I could.
That's in all rooms.
Okay. Yeah, I would need a screen with projector speakers that I could plug in my Apple TV into, so I could run, and I'd have to be on Wi-Fi network.
I have Wi-Fi network is a little bit harder to do.
Is it? Okay.
But we can see about trying to get that set up. Supposedly the Wi-Fi is really good there now. Supposedly, I don't know yet.
Okay.
Tested it myself.
But yeah. Now I just pull off some videos and I talk about what we do at different conventions, and do a couple. Talk about facial topiary contests and other weird ass things that we do. And
cool.
So yeah, that's one I can always pull off the top of my head. Did you talk to her about cheese sandwiches and BS?
I have not yet, but that one's already yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're paying money to be able to have food, we just can't provide meals.
Yeah.
If we cut the grilled cheeses small enough, like in half or something, it's definitely just a snack.
Right. And then I'm very serious. If Jim would be up for doing a one shot, just a 1 hour, 2 hour one shot, we could do Whiskey and Wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You'd have to talk to Eleanor about that. She's my contact to Jim, so.
Sure.
Thank you for having me tonight.
Absolutely.
I think my phone, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at 34%, but
okay.
Don't rush too much. And feel free if you need anything, let me know.
Mhm.
And
As long as you do the same.
likewise, always needing promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so I will talk to you more soon. Are we meeting this weekend or
We should have a meeting Sunday. I'm going to
Okay.
try to at least get the directors together either this Sunday or part of next week.
Huh?
Because schools are out now, so Eleanor should be back next week from Springfield.
Sure.
So,
Okay. Very groovy. All right, man. I will see you later then.
I'll see you later. Thank you so much, and you have a great night.
Sure thing. You too, man. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Right there. Boom.